everyone. Welcome back to the Israel Connection podcast. I'm Esti Zanati, and today I have two special guests live from Israel. The first guest is Guy Flavian. He is the co-head of the Israel Story Initiative and the AHA Content Agency. He is a Galatz Israel radio station veteran, nearing completion of an MA in psychology, and the most important thing, he's an unapologetic gummy bear enthusiast. Hi,
True,
Guy.
true. Hi.
Hi. My second guest is Iris Hillel, or Iris Hillel. She's the co-head of the Israel Story Initiative and a veteran of the IDF spokesperson unit. She is an architect, owner of H. Ruth Engineering Ltd., and a mom. Hi, Iris.
Hi.
Thank you guys for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah.
Of course. So what can you guys tell us about the Israel Story Initiative, as you both are co-heads of the initiative? And when did it start? How did you guys get into it?
Iris, you want to speak about Israel story,
yeah.
and then I will speak how we started.
Okay. So we're a first response effort who actually was established on the night of October 7th in order to amplify the facts of what actually happened during those, like the first day it took a few days to actually figure out everything that happened. And it was a group of volunteers from the IDF spokesperson unit and the Galatz who got together and just started everything. Guy, you want to tell us a bit more?
Yes. So the friends and colleagues, and they just made a rolling snowball of people with different expertise in media and tech guys and diplomats, and it just like became this huge organization. And after 2 days, there were only something like 300 or 400 volunteers there. And then we just started creating content, which was very, very popular, and we spread it around the world. Iris will tell you the numbers. Iris, she's the best with the numbers. So
yeah. So yeah, by the end, I mean, we were live for a long time. By the end, we did over 350 media items, basically mostly videos, but also a lot of graphics. And we used the main channel was Instagram. We also had WhatsApp groups and who spread everything more organically. And we had our Instagram channel, which had 24,000 organic followers. And our videos got up to more than 2 million views.
Oh, wow.
Per video. And we used to track, per week, per month. So we could get like almost 1 million views per month for everything. And some videos got even 2 million views.
yeah.
And how did you two get into the whole thing?
Iris, I actually don't know the story of how Iris got into it. I think it was Iris, she's a veteran of the spokesperson, right? That's how you get in?
Yeah, I got into I was looking where to volunteer, and we have like a group of everyone who was in the IDF spokesperson unit, from all the old people from the IDF spokesperson unit, because the young people got drafted and we didn't get drafted, so everyone was asking where can we volunteer. And then someone just one of the people who was already in wrote to me that they're looking for volunteers, and I just joined.
Yes, it was
what
the
about
same
you?
for me. I'm just like I joined like in the 7th of October. Everybody felt like the hopelessness, and they felt like they have to do something. And there are people volunteering in every field. Like people came and gave food for soldiers and raised donations. And I tried to do content, so I teamed up with this organization. I was a content creator, and after 2 days, the one who was in charge, Niv Shaked, left and for reserves. So I stepped into her role as the content manager, and then we just started to create content. Iris will tell you, we have the messages and strategies, really, really firm strategies that we used in order to create a content with. But like Iris said, we got 35 million views worldwide. And that's just the tip of it. I mean, that's just our Instagram page, because we also distribute for a lot of diplomats around the world. We just send them the videos so they can share them in their communities. No watermark, no nothing. So you can probably see a video and don't know even if it's us that we made it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
what was the main message of the Israel story?
Well, we basically wanted we had like we called it our mission was to
Mhm.
legitimize Israel's position in the world's public opinion. And then we broke it down to three key messages. And we used to check every video if it falls under one of the three, two of the three. So we used to really work with the messages. It's kind of weird to repeat them now because it feels obvious after 2 years. But
Yeah.
in the beginning, we needed to make everything very clear. So the first one was that Hamas is a terror organization, or an army of terrorists, basically. The second was that the fact that it was denying basic human rights from the Israeli hostages.
Mhm.
And the third one was if they will win, then the terror will spread around the world.
Yeah,
So that was basically what we were working with. And every content we made spoke about one of the three or all of them,
right,
depending on the subject. We also used to do it, unfortunately, because it was a very, or it still is a very long period of time. We would work with a calendar, when Christmas came or Hanukkah,
Yeah.
a year, we had all kinds of landmarks during the.
right. We did like a video with Ashley Bakshi, which was getting ready to a party. It was like a Christmas party. And then like the twist, because we really like to do those twists, like you see an ordinary video, which is nice and all. And then you see like she's getting ready for a party, for the Nova Massacre party. So
Mm.
let's like hit strong. Um, yeah, I think that
We-
also those messages, we have like sub messages for everyone.
Mhm.
Like we could say like Hamas is a horrific terror organization, which is bad for Israelis and bad for Palestinians as well. So we also like I think we also amplify how much Hamas is bad for the Palestinians as well. So if you support Palestinians, you shouldn't advocate for Hamas, for example.
Right. It's bad for the world, not just for
Right,
Israel
right. I
Yeah.
think
themselves.
it's an important message because a lot of people go with the Palestinians, and you can understand that or you cannot understand that. But if we want to get rid of Hamas, then showing that Hamas is bad for the Palestinians, it's a good thing, I think, because the future would be better if Hamas won't be around. That's for sure. That's what everybody know, and that's the
Right.
most important thing to do right now. I think this and the hostages, of course. Like that's the messages we spread.
Do you feel like you accomplished what you set out to do, like in all the months that you were active?
I think that I'll tell my opinion, then Iris will tell her. I think that the for organization who wasn't getting any funds, like we weren't didn't have any funds by anyone.
From the government?
Yeah, the government
No.
didn't support us or nothing. We were just like organizations of 300 volunteers, and we didn't do it for the money. We did straight from the motivation to help Israelis and free the hostages, and just for the feelings of our heart. And I think yes, I think we pretty much set up what we wanted to do, but of course, with funding, we could have done much more.
Iris,
Iris,
did you hear anything from people watching the content? People that maybe were like in between, like in the middle, or maybe more pro
Yeah, I think
Palestinian?
we used to check a lot all the statistics. The Instagram can do like divisions of the people who are following and the reaction and everything. And we know that we reached mostly non-Israeli people,
Mhm.
basically English-speaking people. We also had, for a period of time, Israel story in French, in Italian, in Germany, and I think we even had,
Spanish
I
as
don't,
well. Yeah,
yeah. So we had a lot of languages also we spread it out, I mean, the most we could. So we know, and one of our goals was we're not to be in Israel because we know, everyone's convinced here. So we do know from the statistics that we reached out to the world, and not only to the convinced.
Mhm.
And we did get feedback from people who are
Not strictly in
more,
line with
yeah,
Israel.
who are more immersed in the communities around the world, that it worked. I also think, like Guy, that we did what we wanted to do, but we could have done a lot more if we would have had
Of
more
course,
funds and been
I
able to
agree.
keep it going.
I agree. I definitely I agree for that, and I think the government should support more Hasbara. I think we show that it is possible to raise such an amazing effort, and if the government will support such an effort, probably the situation of Hasbara will be better. I want to, like you said, different languages. So we also did, like you asked if you influenced, so I can give you an example. Like we did a video in Portuguese with one of is a very famous soccer player around in Portuguese, which one of the hostages was a fan of,
Mhm.
the young one, Ohad Mundo, I think
Okay. Yeah, 9 years
9 years
old.
old. Yeah. So we did a video with him about him speaking about the situation and about he's speaking about Ohad, and it reached the Portuguese media and they covered it. So that's, I think, how we create influence. We are not here to make people in Israel smile, because there is a lot of Hasbara organizations, and maybe it's important. It's just a different field that help Israelis feel good. But we were focused on the outside, the global public opinion.
So, as someone in a background in psychology, you Guy and Iris, maybe you can answer this question as well afterwards. And considering you both of personal experience with being involved in 24/7 Hasbara um, since October 7, what kind of psychological toll do you think it takes
Mhm.
to be constantly immersed into such high stakes, emotionally charged work on a daily basis?
I think it's an interesting question. I'm not a psychologist, just want to notify that. But I can say this. I think there's a big emotional toll for everyone who saw those videos, really horrific, and we saw stuff maybe even before the white public saw them. Maybe some videos that the white public even didn't see. Um, I think those videos are really, really hard to watch, and they still are. But I think that if you have a cause, like if there's something that motivates you, then you find a way to see past the emotion, maybe in a cold sense, like getting a bit detached emotionally from the content. And from some time to time, there's like this piece of content or news that will just shock you. But I think we stood together as a group and we talked about those stuff. Like um, in my team, I know that like we had this weekly meeting and I spoke with them. How do you feel? Like, is there some content that you don't want to mess with? Because we had those, like, all right, those editors can work on hard stuff and those editors cannot. We knew that. Like everybody had their limits, I think.
Right. Iris, what about you? Like, what was your experience like
I mean, I
emotionally?
think guys, right. We also had that. I was in the distribution team. I was head of the distribution team also, and we also knew that we like that was the first question. I mean, what are you willing to watch and what are you not willing to watch, and are you willing to work with these images or not? So we did try all the time to watch out for the volunteers also. We also had a few doctors who offered us like counseling for the
Mhm.
volunteers after watching. But I think it's not only the watching of the videos. I mean, the whole working 24/7 around the subject for a lot of months, it was very hard. I mean, that's why people we I mean, we had a core group of about 20 volunteers who were head of all the teams, but the other people they switched because it was hard. You couldn't
Yeah.
stay on it all the time. I mean, it consumes you.
It
Basically
does. Yeah.
consumes you. It's
Yeah.
very
Right.
hard. So I think it was hard for all of us. I mean, everyone was really into the cause, but it was very, very hard. We used to talk about, watching and crying at the same time, or it was it was hard. It was also a lot of the beginning, so
The
we
beginning
were
was really
all
rough.
Yeah, that was
confused.
really rough.
There were still alarms and missiles, and
And every people, like, if you take a random volunteer from our organization, he probably has some connection to October 7th, because October 7th hit us all.
yeah,
Like, it's a collective responsibility and a collective pain that everybody felt. So I think that maybe in this group, the people were together, and they can have their limits, and feel like they're not entirely hopeless. Um, it helped them.
Yeah, I know that in the beginning, even like the first, I would say, year probably, a lot of people said, the government released that video of all the Hamas footage from the
yeah,
attacks, and I mean, they only released it to diplomats and I would say news people and from around the world, um, but they told Israelis specifically, do not watch it,
yeah,
because Israelis, like, were there. We were all feel like that, it makes it a lot more horrific for us if we also watch these videos are meant for people outside of Israel to understand
yeah,
the impact of this whole thing.
There was such a feeling of urgency. Like, we really, I don't know, maybe it's just how I felt, but I'm guessing many more Israelis felt this way. Like, almost like a survival urgency. Like, we really thought, like, wow, this
yeah,
is really, really dangerous for us,
Yeah,
like for our country, for our people. It was horrific. I mean,
yeah, everyone was in survival mode, and I think
yeah,
still are. I mean, it's
still
not
are, yeah,
over. Yeah.
still are. I mean,
So
yesterday was a siren here, yeah, so
mhm.
yeah.
in the middle of the country, so everyone are still trying to live with this.
Yeah, there
Not to
was a
mention
short
the
break.
59 hostages.
Right, there was a short break, with the deal, and the release of the 33 hostages, but now it's continuing until they reach another deal, which I hope they do really, really soon, because
Yeah,
they need to get them all out of there.
Mhm.
So given all this significant impact it takes on people, and everything, all the challenges that are involved, why do you think so many influencers and so many people since October 7 have started doing Hasbara, even non-Israelis and, but American Jews and
Mhm.
all these people, because there are so many right now.
But like I said, I think that it was an urgent thing. People just felt like collective responsibility and collective pain that they would. I don't think it was much as a choice as it was just like go with your feelings. Yours, what do you think?
I think also it's like there's a feeling. Well, I'm not objective, but there's a feeling that like half of the world doesn't get it.
Right.
People don't understand what's going on. I mean, and if only you will be able to explain it to them, they will understand. I mean, all the protesters and all the universities that were going on in the U.S. and in Europe, and there was just like a feeling that, okay, these are like probably intelligent people, so if we will be able to explain to them, then they will get it, and then their opinion will change. So people really try to explain what's going on and give the facts.
Hmm.
I
You see
mean,
the
I remember
Palestinian,
there used to be like, discussions, and we were like, we have photos. This is not like
Yeah.
we have photos. It's not like
We have
a,
photos and videos.
yeah. This was like televised. This is not a question of if it happened or not.
Right.
And I think
like,
people had a hard time dealing with the denial of it.
right? If you see like the Palestinian, like the poor Palestinian videos and how what they're saying about October 7th or other events, and you would just like get much more motivated to create content, much
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. And I mean, it's still, after all this time, there are too many people out there that just don't get
Yeah,
it. They don't
definitely.
get it. They don't want to get it. I feel like it's, they're blind to everything.
Yeah.
If you don't live in Israel and you're not a part of it, so it's probably look very different. I thinking maybe like with the media and how they convey to the people, like even if I was like I lived in abroad, maybe I be a pro-Palestinian as well, like because I see like how the media treats it. But if I live in Israel, if I know what's going on, or then I see it differently.
Yeah, their PR is very, very strong,
Very,
Right.
and
very strong.
they get straight to people's hearts
Yeah.
manipulatively, like very manipulative. And we don't have that kind of PR,
We
unfortunately.
believe it's possible. Like maybe what we did was like was so powerful because it was like from the October 7th and people was just like volunteering 24/7. But I think it's possible. Like if the government wants to give funds for that stuff, and I think it's important, it is possible. I think Iris will agree.
Yeah, you just have to and we have the people who know how to do it, but you have to play like them.
Yes,
mean-
but the problem is that it's really weird. I think from like looking at it from a psychological point of view, like how does the human brain takes these videos that we show them from what actually happened and turn it into something positive in a way? It's really weird how people believe that this is justified, or
No,
like
I don't think that's what happened. I think they didn't, well, they didn't see the videos or chose to block it. I mean, it's not, there's no way to rationalize this. But I think what happened is that next to this, they were showed all the buildings in Gaza collapsing,
Mhm.
and they were told an exaggerated number of people who were hurt.
Yeah.
And the suffering in Gaza was very much brought to life all the time. And the suffering in Israel wasn't, not on October 7th, not the days after that, and definitely not the hostages. We don't play the same game. We don't talk about the suffering.
Right. I mean,
We talk
it's
about
not
how
even
right we
us so
are.
much.
It doesn't matter how right we are.
Yeah, I don't think it's
No.
even us so much as the international media. The media has a big role. It plays a big role in this whole situation because they choose to show one side. They're very, very
Yeah.
biased against Israel. They choose to show just one side and focus on that side. And when Israel does something, that's when they show it.
When
They
we
don't
created
show-
videos, we thought like all right, so what counter arguments will people say about this video?
Mm.
Like we try to be very persuasive, to have the right facts, so people can't come and say oh you know that A, B, and C, and then we're like, oh yeah, you're right. We'll try to really challenge their thought in our videos.
Yeah. So, so those of us who still are very much into Hasbara, what do you suggest? What are like some strategies you suggest we do to take care of ourselves mentally so we don't lose it, we don't go crazy because of it, that it doesn't impact us?
Here's did you have like a tip that you used to in our
I think you need to take breaks.
a glass of wine? A glass of wine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's funny, but we used to drink a lot in the beginning. No, but I think you do have to take the breaks. I mean, you have to not do it for like 12, 15 hours a day. Few hours, work on something else. Not let it, like, this was our whole day, every day. We didn't do anything else. We didn't work. Everyone like stopped their lives.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's not a good strategy.
And
I mean, I think
Iris,
at the time you had to do it. I guess there was
Yeah.
no other option. Yeah.
and Iris and me as the heads, we got like so many like messages from, because like I told you, we worked with N12 and Khan News and everybody in Israel. They knew us. They wanted to work with us. So just like you get so many messages, and you get to the end of the days, and you still got those messages, and you can't just let go. For me personally, I couldn't just let go. I was like, my head was there all the time, and it's probably not healthy.
Yeah.
But
I
I
know how
think
it
like
feels, trust me.
I think if you feel like I said, if you feel like you have a strong motivation, then it helps you to survive it in
Yeah.
some sense.
Yeah, I can tell it from my personal experience. I was also working in a synagogue, and being Israeli, the first, like the second we found out about it, I was thrown into this whole thing of doing emails and posts, so the social media posts and all this thing to explain to our congregation what happened and
Yeah.
what is still happening. And it was, the first 2.5 weeks were absolutely insane. I have absolutely zero idea how I survived them mentally, how I still kept going, but it was nonstop, constant,
Yeah.
hasbara, but also like trying to make the community understand what's going on.
Yeah.
People were shocked.
It was like the first 2 months were crazy. Like I can't even explain like how much crazy. It's like all right, let's do this video, and you have like 40 people on the content team, and you have 40 people on the video team, video editors, and you have a foreign language team, and you have foreign language distribution, if you have distribution, and you have strategy team. You have so much like things to manage. It was crazy, but we got like so many. Like I'm pretty proud of the work we did, and I think Iris is too. But like I said, we could have done more, but
Yeah.
we did some crazy stuff. Like we helped design a billboard in the New York Times Square of one of the hostages. It was like, it's crazy, like people from the IDF, very young people, for them to just like go and do those stuff and be in touch with governments and we even went to we had a meeting of one of in the Kiryat base about Hasbara. So
Mhm.
that was like crazy. We just got like pushed into it and we couldn't stop.
So if just regular people, everyday people want to start sharing or explaining about Israel, and still after all this time keep Israel and on everyone's radar, what do you suggest they do? Do you have any tips how to start that?
I would actually, it's like it's not the regular tip you'd hear. I would actually try to understand that the thing you need to say outside to the world is not what you know in your heart is right or what you um get mad about, but the actual truth and the facts. I mean, I'll give an example. I mean, there was a time like around Christmas that people, like, there was a joke on Instagram saying that Jesus was Jewish, so how can you say Jewish people weren't in this country 2000 years ago? And I was like, we don't have, we're not going to put this up on Instagram. It doesn't give us anything. It makes Israeli people feel nice, but it doesn't explain anything to anyone. This is
Right.
not what we want to say. We want to say that what happened is wrong. We want to say that hostages is wrong, you know? So you need to focus on the main issue, not to get into, like, it's like bickering. There's no point in bickering about this.
Mhm.
That's what I would do again.
I think from my experience, I have maybe 3 tips. One of them is offline, and 2 is online. I guess the offline one is pretty in line with what Iris said. I think you shouldn't shove your opinion. Like if you hear those, if you see those Palestinian reels, or you hear some pro-Palestinian arguments, it's really hard not to just want to shove your opinion up their face. But like you said, you should come with the facts and try to understand them so you can logically disprove them, and you can. And from what I think, like right now, one of the most important things to share is the horrific testimonies of the hostages. I don't know if you saw
Yeah.
like in 60 minutes, but it's like horrific. I don't want to, just for like censorship, I don't want to say those stuff. Like if you if you have a strong heart, go and see them. It's important, and spread them. Um, but we should tell their stories, because they have really powerful stories, and they're really hard to like how someone can see and hear the story and say, oh, that it's not evil. Like if
Yeah.
someone can do that, then it's really will be hard to convince them. But it touches. It has to touch somewhere. Um, and my online tip is, although you probably want to do that, do not comment on Palestinian
Oh,
reels. Yes, because
great tip.
yeah, because if you comment them or engage with them in any way, then we'll just get more reach. They will get more reach, and more people will see it, and that's not what probably don't want what we want. But if you, I don't know, if it's like a video which is speaking about a fact or something that you can disprove and make people see it, then I guess it's okay. If you don't see too many like Israeli comments, because Israel comments are like, oh, this is wrong, or Israel is right, or Israel is strong, it doesn't do nothing. Like it's not, it's I can understand from where it comes, but it doesn't do nothing.
Yeah. I think one of the things that you can comment on in general that gets a lot of hate is like videos like Yuval Rafael going to the Eurovision. So her videos on the Eurovision account gets a lot of hate from anti-Israel people. So you can comment there and share your love there. Or a video for Gal Gadot's new movie, you can comment there and and share your love to Gal and to Israel there. I think that's
Unless it's Snow White.
well, no, not as no. That's a whole lot of issue, yeah. But yeah, I mean, you can support Israel in that way also. I think that's and learn, study, read some books and study the history, like everything that, so you can have that point of argument. If someone comes to you with something, you can show them the facts. You can tell them what's actually true.
We didn't go back to the confrontation and what happened here. We were focused on what's going on in the war and the hostages. We didn't go back, as to when Israel started, etc.
I think that's like a general argument, like not argument, but like a general thing that we do have to put out there, because it evolved into a lot more than October 7th, especially on social media. But we have to put it out there if we know the facts, if we actually know the actual facts and not just say things because we feel a certain way.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that you're going to go back to Hezbollah to do any of this stuff?
It's a good question.
Yeah, this is a good question indeed. I think
we reached a point in which there's no point in doing it without fundings.
Right.
I mean, we reached the limit that we could have done by ourselves. So unless we would have gotten, or we will get, like a major support from one of the government offices, which is not likely, I don't think I would have gone and do it like again.
Probably if I ever could relive the Israel story all over again, I probably would have done it, because like I said, it was a crazy, it was hard, it was difficult, but I'm proud of what we did. And me personally, right now I'm doing like other forms of content, but if an opportunity comes, then I probably will want to create some content for Hezbollah as well.
Okay. So the last thing for this episode, we have a segment called Favorite Israeli Thing. So I'm going to ask you little things and just throw out there whatever comes to your mind. Who is your favorite Israeli collaborator?
That we collabed with?
Yeah, someone you worked with on Hezbollah or otherwise that you enjoyed working with.
I like Stand With Us. Stand With Us are great. We did some collabs with them. We spoke with them. They helped us with some of our videos. I like Asaf Zamir. Asaf Zamir was great.
Yeah.
We like Asaf Zamir.
Was great.
Yeah, we like Asaf Zamir.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite Israeli TV personality? Could be on the news.
Do you watch TV?
Yeah. Well, like TV personality, news or TV personality?
Anything you want. Anyone who's on TV. Doesn't matter where.
Well, I would say Michal Peilan, but that's news.
Yes, we also collaborated with her as well.
Yeah, she was in one of our videos also.
If we go to news, then I say Nir Dvori. I really appreciate Nir Dvori.
Yeah.
And non-news, I like Ronnie Kuban. He's like a famous interviewer.
Oh yeah, he has really interesting interviews.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah. What is your favorite Israeli snack?
Bamba.
Yes, Bamba. I wanted to say
Bamba.
so.
Just plain old bamba?
Just
Yeah,
plain old Bamba. If you fill it with nougat, it's fine. Okay, right? It's fine as
Yeah.
well.
and it's really Israeli also.
Mhm.
Yeah. We got a cat recently and we called her Bamba.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, because that's my daughter's favorite snack.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the first few words.
Yeah. Who is your favorite historical figure, Israeli historical figure?
Wow.
Mhm.
Difficult question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So
silence.
we'll edit the silence out.
It could
Yeah.
be like for
Well, it's
politics.
easy. I can say Golda and
Golda.
go out
Yeah.
with a feminist.
Mhm. What about you,
Oh,
Guy? Anybody comes to mind?
I'm trying to think like someone who is maybe not very political, but
Mhm.
Iris, do you have any idea what I can say?
Well, I would have said. I mean, I'm kidding. I do like Golda. I also have. I have what like. I have my reasons, but Yossi Sarid was really special. Also,
Mm.
Hmm.
you don't know him because you're a child.
No, I did know him. He was with me in Galat. I knew him. I knew him
Yeah,
personally.
but he was.
Um,
He did a lot of good stuff.
Guy, we'll get back to you
will you
later.
let me off the hook if I
Yeah, so I'll
don't
let
have
you off the
anyone?
hook. So we'll go with Golda and you'll see Sarid. Okay.
Yeah.
And the
That's
last thing
that's
is,
on her behalf, not me. Yeah.
I know. Well, we'll get back to you another time. What is your favorite Hebrew word or expression?
Hmm.
Wow. These are very hard questions.
Yes, it's
Oh,
funny
it's
that
good.
those
Makes you
are the
think.
hard questions, right? Like we spoke
Yeah.
about the mental toll of doing asvara, and this is the hard
Yeah,
question.
it's a lot of stress right now, right?
Um,
Coming up with
Yeah.
your favorite Hebrew word.
Yeah. I'd say Sababa.
I don't know if sababa it's Hebrew.
It's not Hebrew, right? I don't think it's Hebrew.
It's like a
Sababa? I
mishmash.
don't know. I mean, we use it in Israel like it's,
Yeah.
use it all the time. Guy, you
Yeah.
say something else, not sababa. Different word.
I'll go with something because it's just funny, maybe. I can just throw a word because I don't know, like
Okay.
achi. I like achi.
Achi. Okay. Achi
Yes,
is
achi is
bro.
great.
Yeah, bro. Basically, that's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. That's wonderful. Well, thank you guys for joining me today. It was a pleasure talking to you both.
Great. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Esti. Thank you very much.
And thank you all for listening. Until next time.